J1407b might sound like a made-up name from Star Wars, but this is really the name of one of the most intriguing planets that astronomers have ever discovered. About 420 light-years away in our galaxy sits a young planet going around a young sun-like star. If Saturn was the king of rings, then J1407b is the lord of the rings, but the rings' very enormous size sets them apart from Saturn. This planet is undoubtedly unique enough to claim the top spot on the list, but just how crazy can planets actually be? How could there possibly be a diamond planet? In today's video, we'll explore the galaxy and examine some of the strangest and most horrifying worlds ever found. J1407b. Astronomers studying the unsettling world found it to be difficult to determine its mass accurately, although it is thought to contain 10 to 40 times the mass of Jupiter. In fact, it may even be a brown dwarf. Additionally, it is a gigantic planet that dwarfs the largest planet in our solar system size. Scientists were astounded by the planet's massive ring system. It is truly Saturn on steroids, and its nicknames are accurate. Let me now introduce J1407b, an exoplanet that is 20 times as massive as Saturn. This super Saturn has rings that are 180 million kilometers wide. That is 200 times larger than the Saturn's rings and 150 million kilometers greater than the distance between the Earth and the Sun. There is no doubt that J1407b is the original Lord of the Rings. The monster possesses a disk of around 30 rings, which is so big that it would have dominated our night sky if it were positioned around our Saturn. To paint a picture of how huge it would be, first of all, you will be able to see the rings and the gaps in the rings pretty plainly from Earth. It would be several times larger than the full moon. According to estimates, the Lord of the Rings is a gas giant far larger than one we are familiar with. And why, you may ask? Well, if you were to land on it, you would fall straight into the core of it, which is the worst place you would want to be since that is where the pressure is the greatest, and you would shrink to the size of a mere peanut. Since planet J1407b is too hot, approximately 1,000 to 2,000 degrees Celsius, to host ice rings like those around Saturn, it most likely that the rings are comprised of dust. J1407b is a young star in regards to stellar age, with its planet being just around 16 million years old. In contrast, the Sun and Earth are 4.5 billion years old. Gliese 581c. Next, we travel to the planet Gliese 581c, which may harbor life. Gliese 581c, which was discovered in 2007, is quite close to Earth at a distance of 20.5 light years away, or 118 trillion miles away. It is located at Gliese 581. Gliese 581 is one of the 100 stars nearest to us. 6 planets have already been discovered around the red dwarf, making Gliese 581 the hub of the biggest known planetary system outside of our own system. Compared to Earth, which is 8,000 miles from pole to pole, Gliese 581c looks to be around 12,000 miles wide. This will give the new planet a mass that is around 5 times that of Earth. Increasing the local gravitational force, gravity would be 1.6 times stronger than on Earth, so a 150-pound object would weigh up to 240 pounds. Gliese 581c appears to orbit its local star fairly quickly, giving it what we may call a 13-day year. Furthermore, if it were a member of our solar system, it would be around 20 times bigger than the Moon. This far-off new Earth may have a dark side similar to our own Moon that is just one face of the globe that may always be exposed to the red sun during its orbit. The issue with finding a planet that circles at the proper distance from its star is that most previous efforts to identify Earth-like planets have concentrated on stars like our Sun. The European telescope had spent around 90% of its time concentrating on stars that were more like the Sun. According to the experts, if aliens exist, they are more likely to reside at the line between shadow and light, at a temperate zone known as the terminator. It is precisely the appropriate size and range from its star to sustain liquid water on its surface. The fact you may need to freeze to death on one side of the planet and be burned alive on the other is what makes this planet so unusual. 55 Cancri E. If we're talking about another super-Earth, we should include another incredibly odd planet called 55 Cancri E, commonly known as the Diamond Planet. The simplest explanation is that 55 Cancri E is an exoplanet experiencing an identity crisis. 55 Cancri E, with little under 8 times the mass and 2 times the size of our own beautiful planet, is a welterweight treading the fuzzy line between terrestrial and gas giant planets. There's nothing like it in our solar system. This is the closest thing to purgatory you can get. It could be an airless, half-molten lump of waste with no atmosphere at all. This planet, like the one we just talked about, is tidally locked. Because the globe only spins once every orbit, one side is always drenched in sunlight while the other is perpetually dark. Because the temperature looks to be above 1,000 degrees Celsius, as hot as a blast furnace, the planet's night side would really glow red. The super-Earth is thought to be coated in diamonds. It is so close to its parent star that completing a full orbit only takes 18 hours. The big surprise is that the day side of 55 Cancri is twice as hot, with the hottest spots displaced eastward from its predicted location exactly beneath the star above. TOI 1431b. And since we're still talking about unpleasant times, we should include TOI 1431b, another really weird planet. Even if the name is a bit of a mouthful, you should know a few things about this one since it's hellishly hot and uncomfortable. It is one of the hottest planets ever found, with temperatures high enough to vaporize most metals, and is situated around 490 light years from Earth. This planet is not only a hellish place, but it is also enormous. To give you an idea of its scale, consider that Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Yep, this planet is the size of Jupiter. The temperature here is roughly 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, or 2,700 degrees Celsius, making it not purgatory, but a massive purgatory. We can therefore safely conclude that no living being is welcome on this planet. In contrast to molten lava, the planet's nighttime temperature is actually the second highest ever noted. In fact, the planet's searing temperatures are similar to that of the rocket engine exhaust. HD 189733b. How about a gigantic planet where it rains glass? That's what you get with planet HD 189733b. The nearest hot Jupiter to Earth, HD 189733b, is only 63 light years away, making it an ideal target for scientific research. HD 189733b is a hot Jupiter with low chances for alien life. It circles its parent star once every 2.2 days at an orbital speed of 152.5 kilometers per second, 341,100 miles per hour, making it 16.2% more massive and 13.8% larger than Jupiter. However, what makes this planet even more fascinating is the fact that, to the untrained eye, it appears to be livable due to its distant, bright blue color. However, don't be fooled by the color. This planet is the killer you didn't expect. The world has fatal weather. All would-be passengers are blown around the Earth in a painful spiral wind that may reach speeds of up to 5,400 miles per hour, or 2 kilometers a second, which is 7 times the speed of sound. Let us paint you a little horrific image. On Earth, walking outside on a wet day would only be a slight inconvenience, but on this planet, it would be the equivalent of dying by 1,000,000 blades. This terrifying planet would shower glass laterally in its roaring winds rather than vertically. Don't imagine that. Unlike on Earth, where a tropical ocean's reflection is what gives cobalt its blue hue, in space, silicate particles are suspended in towering clouds that are covered in a hazy, scorching environment. WASP 12b. After discussing the planet that literally showers glass, you might be wondering how crazy we can go. Well, what if we told you that the next planet on our list is a light eater? Furthermore, while we speak about this planet, it is currently being steadily swallowed by its host star, which is another intriguing aspect of it. Let me introduce to you WASP 12b. It is one of the darkest exoplanets ever discovered because its day side absorbs light instead of reflecting it into space. The size of WASP 12b is 40 times that of our own Jupiter. The temperature of the atmosphere is a scorching 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The planet has set day and night sides because it revolves so closely around its host. One orbit of WASP 12b is finished per day. The night side has substantially lower temperatures at 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit, which enables the formation of clouds and water vapor. The atmosphere of the planet, which is extremely hot, is leaking material onto its star. Sad to say, the planet is sort of doomed. WASP 12b has around 189 quadrillion tons of atmospheric mass around its star. Imagine finding yourself on this strange, dark, and extremely hot planet. It would seem like something from a horror movie. It would be really unsettling. Which planet would you visit if you could see it without worrying about the repercussions? Please share your opinion in the comment section down below.